Well, hello there, YouTube. It's Tuesday, May 31st, 2022, and I've got another video for you. Today's video is about measuring the camshafts and the camshaft bearings. I'm going to need your help on this one because the manual doesn't specifically say how you're supposed to measure this. I don't know if you need to measure your bearings while it's torqued down like you do with caps and, you know, your rod caps and your main bearings. I don't know if that's the case, because I've already measured this, and you're going to see the results of this, and I think that either I'm measuring it wrong or I've got a problem. So let me show you what we're looking for. All right, so these are our numbers in millimeters. So they've kind of, I'll show you what A, B, and C is here in a second. But these are the dimensions, and they have the repair stages as well. This has not been repaired, so we're looking at our regular sizes there. And then you can see down here at the bottom our bearing play. So our radial play is 0.025 to 0.057, and that's across the board. I zoomed up on that so we can see what our clearance is supposed to be. Unfortunately, when I measured this, I find that all the journals, except for A, which I'll show in a minute, kind of measure between 20 and 30. So we've got, you know, 10 thousandths difference in the, you know, as far as being out of round. So this is what A, B, and C is, and I just marked it as B, B, and C, C, just to make it easier to understand. These were my final results, and you're going to see in this video I made a mistake when I first measured. I only measured in one spot. You'll see there's very few places you can measure within these journals because there's holes and, you know, oil galleys, and so you have to worry about that. But I measured it the first time, and I came out with 30 over. And then as I was measuring, I go, wait a minute, I measured this one again, and now it's 20? So that's when I discovered, you know, you got to do just like you do with any other bearing, really. You got to find as many surfaces as you can. You're looking for the smallest and the largest, okay? So you can see this bearing A came out really great. And there's a good reason for that, probably. First off, I'm using a bore gauge. Oh, gosh. All right, so this is a Fowler bore gauge. And it's fairly accurate, you know, 0.005. 0.0005, so 5 10,000ths. But this is 1 1/4 to 6 inch. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't fit the small one. So you got to use a snap gauge or small bore hole gauge, whatever you want to call it. This is Starrett. I purchased a 4-piece kit. I've got a link in the description. These are very nice tools. This is a self-centering. You can see this thing moves in both directions, and this way and up and down. So that's how you have to measure this little guy here, and then your micrometer. So you only need a 1 to 2 inch micrometer for measuring all of this. All right, so now I'm just gonna skip through this video a little bit, and you know, I don't know exactly how this video is going to come out, so because I have not edited it yet. I have a lot of footage. This takes several hours to really measure. It really did. And so I've got a lot of garbage video that there's no sense in uploading it. I'm really just measuring this journals exactly the same way I measured the journals on the main, you know, on our crankshaft. Exactly the same way. Here and here, right? And I'm also checking for taper or anything else you can. You just want to find what's going on, right? Well, this itself was quite good. As you can see down here at the bottom, where it says the journals, and I have like 1, 3, 7, 6, 8, and then I have 1, 3, 7, 6, 8. That's because it measured identical regardless of where I measured it. Okay, so all the journals were great. Another thing you're going to notice is that I'm on the top end. My measurement is at the very top. Now, could it be because it was 105 degrees in the garage when I measured it? No. I measured it the next day, and it was 85 in the morning, and my measurements came out identical. I have all that footage. I'm not going to probably include it in here, right? But I did. I went and tried it a different day, thinking maybe thermal expansion had something to do with it. But no matter what, I'm reading on the top end. It's hot here in Arizona. You know, my lowest temperature is going to be about 90 this time of year, and that's at night. Otherwise, we're going to be seeing about 105, 110. So, but anyway, let's get back to this. So my journal sizes were very consistent. I had no problem measuring it. This micrometer set is excellent. I find it feels very, very well. So I did the math on this because I was curious because like it said there, you can see in bearing A, I came out with 17 thousandths. So I'm like right in the target area. You see the target is 10 thousandths to 22 thousandths. So, I mean, I'm right there. Then on our bearing B, for example, you'll notice, of course, I'm at the top end of my journal. And my measurements, my smallest measurements, I should say, was 22 thousandths was the smallest on that first B journal. And the BB was 20 thousandths, both at the high end. So you can see that we're within range, but not the actual overall measurement wasn't within range, right? It's very small amount. We're off there. But I think it has to do with the fact of how I measured it and how Mercedes measured it. Because I'm at the top end. If I were to just drop say it was a little bit smaller journal size, then the overall measurements would all be within measurements, okay? It would all be within tolerance. Again, here it is. You know, you see that we're under 5 on the top one, under 2, we're right around flat. You know, that green line there, the plus or minus. The only thing that's in red is the overall size, right? Now, it could be that that bearing, you know, the bearings are worn out. And I did the math over here too, and you can see everything's within range except for the bottom one there. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. So my problem really is you know, is it okay? Are these journals, or not journals, but these bearing caps, you know, they are out of round, the 10 thousandths of a difference in the bigger caps. This came out pretty much dead on all the way around. Okay, there's a little bit of difference, but not much. But every one of these other ones were 30 thousandths and 20 thousandths. And they were almost the same all the way through. And I'm going to show you how I measured it the first time when I got 30 thousandths. I'm going to show you a mistake I made along the way. All the stuff I could cut out, but I don't cut it out because you might make the same mistake. It was a stupid, simple mistake, and you could do it too. I've marked all the top of my caps, right? They're all marked, and you guys can see that from another video on how I marked it and why I marked it the way I did. But, you know, here I am doing my little video, and I pull out this one, right? But it wasn't. It was number 9, not number 6, right? And it's just, and I'm measuring, I'm going, oh my gosh, this thing's way off. Thank God. It was a completely different bearing, I would have had the numbers wrong. So I caught that, right? Then I go, wow, you know, we're over. So I wanted to check it again, right? I check it again. I thought, there's got to be, I got to find out what's going on. And then that's when I find out, oh, now I see how I can measure this bearing, every one of the bearings, and get 20, right? Rather than 30. So I want you to see what I got. Those are the numbers I got. Do I need new bearing towers? My God, let's hope not, because it's over $1,000 and I'm pretty much out of money, you guys. I have a transmission I still have to pay for, right? So I'm broke. But I want to know, do these need to be torqued down? Is that what will take care of the difference? It may, I don't know. But maybe if that's what I'm doing wrong, that's right. That's fine. We'll redo it. But if that's not it and I need new ones, I kind of need to know. I'm asking for your help just to help me out on that part. But here's the video for now. It's just titled basically, I need your help. And then once we get the help and we figure out where we're at, we'll either delete this video or just leave it there because, you know, what I'm doing is part of the, I'm documenting everything I'm doing, even mistakes. If I'm making a mistake, I document it. I let you guys know. If I make a mistake, you might make the same mistake. So let's expose it right here. I'll play the idiot and then you guys can look great, right? I'm gonna save you money. It might cost me some money, which I'm getting kind of low on. But besides this, let's just jump into this video, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna catch you at the end. I think I am because I just cut the video off because I was depressed. You know, just my own internal depression. I'm not depressed, right? I'm good. So, but I think I'm just gonna touch base at the very end, and I'm just asking for your help. All right, thanks guys. So here's our camshaft. I marked it as the left side. I've already zeroed these out, the camshaft. My tools, everything's at the same temperature, and I zeroed it. Machine oil. This has a ball bearing. The bore gauge has ball bearings on its rollers, rocker rollers, or whatever you want to call them. But I want to just get a little bit of very fine machine oil. That's not going to make any difference in our measurement. All right, I've zeroed out my gauge. So you guys know how the drill works. We'll push it up against the back there, and then we'll sweep it till we find our largest point, and it looks like it's going to be right about there. So that's 1, 2, 30. Right? That's going to be 30. 30 larger. You have to be really careful, right, when you take your measurement, and because there's not a whole lot of surface area, so you only got this little bit, that's it. Otherwise you got machined areas. So that's the only place you could actually measure this. So we've already done it once, so let's try it again. And I'm going to try it here at this point now. And I would say that's just about exactly the same. About 30 thousandths. And I wish I could buy millimeter. Right? But in the United States, I don't know what's wrong with us in the US, but we're so against millimeters. I can't get this stuff. I have to wait and wait and wait and wait to have tools shipped, I don't know, from the UK, I guess. You know, because we're stuck on inches. So I'm just not as familiar with inches, even though, you know, I'm an old man. You'd think I would be more like that, but I already know what it is. It's 10, 20, 30. Oh, I'm actually watering the grass, guys. It's going to be 106 degrees today. It's early morning. That's an alarm for me to go move my water. I do it manually. Can you see it? Just like a little bit of a scratch, right? I mean, and that's oiling it and being very careful. And you still leave a little bit. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. But you see what I mean? This one tool costs approximately $50 US. This one little tool. Because I'll tell you, when you're buying these things, you can buy some really cheap ones, but I mean, this is really nice. It's pretty smooth. I mean, they all are not great, right? This is self-centering and everything, so we'll see. We'll see how it works. But basically, you just kind of make it a little bit smaller than your hole. right, to start with. I'm sure you guys know how this works. And then we'll just open it up inside here. Got to make sure where's our, all right, here's where we're going to go. Right about here. You know, I know that I'm centered. I can feel that, right? And you can go back and forth. But unfortunately, you can go in a few different directions. So I'm going to assume, because I've used these kind of tools before, in a steel shop, not here. So that's all you do is you tighten it down when you're in there like that. Now you kind of know what that drag is, right? This might be a little bit tight, but it's close. So then, and now we will take this and just simply measure it. 1.375. So now we've got all our numbers. I'm going to go punch this in and I'm going to go look to see what our clearances should be. This one doesn't look very good though. That one there. This number 6, or is that? Did I have them all in the right order? Oh gosh, I don't know. That's 20. Interesting. Okay, so let's flip it on this side. Ooh, this one is also 20. Aha! That is the smallest clearance. So our numbers are looking better. I just didn't do it right. So these are the bigger numbers. That comes out to 30. So let's see if I can show you guys where my... That's a big difference. Are these out of round? Right? That would mean it's out of round. Interesting. You can see I put little scratches in here. That's one of the things I don't like doing. All right, so when I measured, all right, you see that ring right? This ring. It's in reverse for me, guys, so I'm trying to do it. All right. If I measured it here, right around this and there, I get 20. When I measure up and down here, which is where I was going, was this way. Because, you know, there's these things in here. You can't be on that with your roller. So you have to go in this area here. And same thing on this side, right? So you got plenty of room on this side, but you're very limited over on the other side on where you can go because you got all those things. So like I said, when I measure in these areas, I come up with 20. Aha! You know, that's a classic mistake, and I should have never done that. You know, when I used that telescopic one, right, the Starrett, I moved it around all the time, you know, trying to make sure I got the smallest spot. So I should have done the same thing here, you know, because that one there was like right on the money. So let's see where, and now we're getting all these within range only because of that. Our actual measurements with the micrometer seem to be right on. So, all right, so we're figuring this stuff out. Let's flip this thing around. I'm going to try this side. There's a 20. Yep. So our measurements were just that we didn't do it correctly. I bet you someone who's got the proper tools and everything if you had a line boring thing, you're going to find out these things are out of round. Right? Is that okay? Looks like 22 is probably our smallest point. So $25. It's pretty consistent. This one here's a little bit more not out of round, right? 25. If anything, you know, I would say it's also 25. So you can see what just a small little difference would be. I'm going to just have to say 25. It may be not within specs, but with the graduation of my tools and everything else, that plus or minus would say I'm still okay and we're within our boundaries. But let me go crunch those numbers and we'll see what the heck those final results are now that we've finally understood how to use the bore gauge properly. So these are our final numbers after measuring many times and verifying. You notice that I just did it and I verified the numbers that we did were correct. It was just our method using the dial bore gauge. So this is what I want you to see here. The ones in the red, B and BB, for example, say that our bearing size is a little bit big, although our clearance is not. Our clearance is in the green, right? I mean, we could be on the top end. I mean, you know, I have my tools, and they're only so accurate. Could I be off a little bit and make everything in the green? Certainly. That's why none of these numbers concern me. And the same thing with C. You see it's like 4, 5, 9. You know, come on. We're looking at 9, 4, 5, 5. So could I be off? Yes. But my main concern is do I have bearing clearance? And how much bearing clearance? And you can see our bearing clearance on A is like right in that target zone. And that's where we use the precise instruments to measure everything. And we use the micrometer. And then over here, you know, we have the dial bore gauge, and I've noticed, you know, that it was out of round. So I wanted to record that. So what I did is I put together a spreadsheet to kind of show what my, you know, whether I'm over or under there on the right-hand side, you know, from the top. So I was under, for example, that much. And otherwise I was sitting on the top end. You can see on all those. This is the right side. And again, same kind of numbers, you know, we're in the green. Now, except for bearing C. And you noticed it was the actual using the dial bore gauge. The dial bore gauge tells me that the smallest opening was about 25. I mean, I could say you could say 23 safely and get by, but regardless, I'm over. So now you guys see how I measured everything. You know, there's no information on it. I couldn't find any videos. I searched high and low on the internet, and I can't find anything other than the manual that I have, which just tells you the measurements. So that's how I did it. I'd like to get you guys' feedback. I'm going to keep the video up here. It's just going to be just retitled as, you know, measuring camshaft and bearings. And if anything new or comes up and I have to redo something or something, that's where I'll put a link right there. So that way there we know if something else has changed here. Otherwise, you know, it's going to continue and we're going to, I have some funner things coming up. But, you know, unfortunately, part of this whole engine process is measuring things to kind of get a baseline, see where the heck you are. And there's still some more measuring. I mean, even what I'm working on right now, you guys can see, yes, I finally have a head sitting out in front of me. And I even have a lap stick in front, right? And I've got some good camera angles where you guys can see the whole process. I haven't even begun. I'm just trying to get everything set up, let you guys know that, you know, unfortunately, even though, you know, we're doing all this measuring and stuff, I even have to still measure the valve stems, right? We got to know how long they are. I'll probably go ahead and do the guides as well. I have the tools. Why not? We're here. I'm documenting everything that I can, I guess. You know, and every time I do, I'm going to find something wrong. But that's where I'm at with this. Oh, you know, and I've got another thing too. We've got these pistons. I'm going to go ahead and de-ring them. I'm going to go ahead and also take the rods off the pistons so you guys can see how I go about doing that. I think I feel pretty confident. You know, there's a guy I'm watching. You guys know who I'm talking about. And I'm going to put his little name right here and a link in my description below because he's been helping me a great deal. And I'm not just going to impose on him, you know, every time I have a question. You know, thanks to him, I even have a lot more followers. And I hope you guys stick around because this is gonna be fun. There's more things to go. Every single nut and bolt of this engine I've taken apart, and we're just going to put it all back together. So somehow, some way we're going to do it. I don't know. I might have to get donations or something. I don't know. Because if this right now is a problem, it's going to cost some money. We're going to have to figure out a way to do something about it. You know. But you guys know what's coming up regardless. We're still going to go ahead and we're going to do this kind of stuff. We're going to be lapping these valves. That's right. I'm going to do it differently than anyone else you probably have seen on the internet do it. That's right. No power tools. No, I'll still use this. I'll still use the old stick. But I'm going to use a different type of compound. I don't know. I've just been researching the heck out of all this kind of stuff. You know, do you lap? Don't you lap? Oh my gosh, there's a lot involved. So I can't wait till we get to that video. All right, so thanks you guys. I really do appreciate you guys sticking around. And if you stayed this long in the video, hey, kudos to you because I know this stuff is really boring and I talk too much. So I'm really sorry about that. But, you know, this is documentation for me. And in the future, if you got to tear your car apart, you don't want me to skip anything, right? I mean, that's the whole purpose of this. We don't want to skip anything. And if the car doesn't start, we go back in the video and say, oh, that's why, Tony. That's why. You know that little detail that you didn't leave out? That's why I'm doing it. That's the only reason. That's it. The whole reason I started this channel is not to become an influencer. I don't need 1 million subscribers. I want subscribers just so people who are in my shoes, like I was starting this project, there's nobody done it. Nobody's done it. It's not documented anywhere on the internet, that's for sure. You know, you got the stupid PDF manuals and oh my God, you can't search them. They're terrible. Everything about it is terrible. So you got to see it being done, and that's what I'm trying to do. So I thank you guys for just sticking around, and I'll catch you on the next one.